Welcome to the dining room here at the House of Hoffman for our Vineyard Church at Home episode for Thursday, May the 7th. Let me ask you a question as we're getting started today. What's the nicest thing that someone has said to you during the past week? And what impact did it have on you? A person told me this week that he appreciated my friendship, that my call came at just the right time. That affirmed and encouraged me. So as I think about Proverbs chapter 15, I'm wondering, how does one become healthier and godlier in the use of one's tongue? What is God's part and what is our part? What's my part? One of my recent greatest challenges during COVID-19 is low frustration tolerance. I mean, like really low. And before I realize it, stuff is coming out of my mouth that is not helpful or useful to anyone. Can you relate to that? So today we're looking at Proverbs chapter 15, and the verses in this chapter, several of them deal with our speech. Verses 1 and 2, verse 4, 7, 23, and 28. So I'm going to be reading this from the New Living Translation. A gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare. The tongue of the wise makes knowledge appealing, but the mouth of a fool belches out foolishness. Now, there's a picture. Gentle words are a tree of life, and a deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. The lips of the wise give good advice. The heart of a fool has none to give. Everyone enjoys a fitting reply. It's wonderful to say the right thing at the right time. The heart of the godly thinks carefully before speaking. The mouth of the wicked overflows with evil words. So let's dig a little deeper. Have you ever tried to argue in a whisper? It's equally hard to argue with someone who insists on answering gently. On the other hand, a rising voice and harsh words almost always trigger an angry response. So the writer of Proverbs says, consider a soft answer versus hurtful words. The way one answers another person will definitely have an effect on the response. More than gentle or soft, the idea is like a conciliatory response, an answer that restores good temper and reasonableness. So, in other words, a gentle answer can roll back waves of anger, while a painful word kind of stirs it up. So to turn away wrath and seek peace, the advice is choose gentle words. Verse 4 helps us understand that perversion crushes the spirit, but a soothing tongue is like a tree of life. Perhaps you've heard this old saying, an old adage. It's been around since 1872. It says, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. You ever heard that one? But it's not true, is it? Now, I can tell you as a pastoral counselor that words hurt, they scar, and they can leave wounds all the way down to the soul. Be careful how you use your words. What a person says can either bring healing or harm. Healing words bring life and vitality to the spirit, but perverse or twisted or deceitful words actually can crush one's spirit. So the contrast here is between the soothing and crushing power of the tongue. Using this favorite analogy, if you will, of a life-giving tree. So the theme of the tree of life is common in ancient Eastern epic as well as art. The tree is transformed here in the book of Proverbs into this incredible image of wisdom. In Proverbs 11:30, matter of fact, wisdom is embodied in this metaphor of the tree of life, which indicates that it produces this key to a fuller and a much more enriching life. So it's important to watch our words. Verse 7 encourages us that wise people will spread knowledge when they speak. Their words are profitable. And in particular, I resonate with this because it's concerned with teaching and being a teacher. I appreciate that. The idea of the second part of the verse is simply that the fool has no comprehension of knowledge, just kind of belches out stuff that's just not helpful. In verse 23, it says that it's most satisfying to be able to give timely and fitting advice. To say the right thing at the right time is, in fact, satisfying, isn't it? It requires knowledge and wisdom, two important features of wise counsel. Less is more on the one hand, and timing is everything on the other hand. Verse 28 carries the idea that one carefully muses or meditates on what they're going to say before they speak with their mouth. Those who are wise are cautious in how they answer, in contrast to the wicked who just blurt out vicious things. The mind of the righteous meditates on or studies how to answer. In other words, the godly, they weigh their answers. The wicked don't think before speaking because they don't care about the effects of their words on their listeners. It's important to have something to say, yet it's equally important to think about what you're going to say first. Do you carefully plan your words? Or do you just pour out your thoughts without concern for their impact? Not only verbally, but especially during this COVID-19 time, what we post on Facebook or what we might say in social media, we need to really think about that ahead of time. This verse advises us to say less yet better things. So by way of application, what use of the tongue do you most want to grow in? Truthfulness, encouragement, confidence keeping, clean language, cool temper, or perhaps gentleness? What could you do to cooperate with God in this? My prayer for each of us is that we would have the insight and the ability to turn away from wrong habits towards right ones, to ask God to deal with the things that are in our hearts that motivate the wrong use of our mouth. That we would each talk with God about how to use our tongue. Tell him what you find tough. Ask for strength to pay attention to what you say and the power of the Holy Spirit to change. Colossians 4 verse 6 says, "Let your conversation be gracious and attractive, so that you will have the right response to everyone." This is my prayer for each of you this week. Have a blessed week.